Field gameplay has just been blown wide open at the Xbox showcase, but Bethesda gave us an impressive 45-minute presentation on what the game is, revealing several new huge mechanics details. Right now I'm gonna give you all of the important details in a bite-sized fashion. Some really cool stuff in here, so with that said, let's get stuck in and take a look. Drop a link below to help support me and get this video out there. Thank you. I just call Starfield is an action role-playing game. You will embark on story quests, side quests, build ships, relationships, and travel to over 1,000 planets in the galaxy, discovering interesting creatures, characters, and enemies. The game also features dogfighting in space and base building. More on that in a bit. The character creation tool is said to be the best that Bethesda has ever put together, with many options to change how you look, including ethnicity, age, etc. Even scanned real faces and implemented them so you can use those as baselines and then mix and match as you desire. You'll get to pick a background that has gameplay implications and 3 basic skills, and what you choose here has an impact on the gameplay, opening up new ways to clean missions based on who you talk to. You can also choose 3 optional traits with advantages and disadvantages acting as gameplay modifiers. The game features an expansive set of skills that can be unlocked and ranked up with challenges and XP. There are 5 skill trees, each with 4 ranks per skill, so you could choose to be a strong melee character, a stealthy pickpocket, making takedowns, smooth talker, or a combat veteran who goes in guns blazing and flies around with the jetpack. Your ship, or collection of ships, I should say, is how you'll get around the galaxy. And the cool thing about this is that you can build them in many different ways, changing where individual modules and components are. They showed a couple of crazy builds where people have made animal shapes such as a platypus or a spider or even Optimus Prime here, looking good. You can recruit crew for your ship to whether that's a cities that you discover randomly on a planet where you find someone who's deserted, and they can actually go onto your ship, look after it, help you in different ways. And of course you can converse with them too. Enrollment options are available. You can also install modules which improve the performance of the ship, and for crafting materials and weapon parts you ship is almost another character in the game. When you go exploring and land on a planet that you scanned, you can build outposts and bases almost anywhere. This looks surprisingly robust, allowing the player to create expansive bases with harvesters and modules for gameplay mechanics. It featured a top-down isometric view that you can build a bit easier from a broader perspective, and then switch to first person when you want to get into the nitty-gritty and the decorating of things. We got an extensive look at combat this time too, and it looks tenfold better than what we saw last year. The first-person animations in particular and the weight and feel of the gunplay seem to be much improved based on the video, and talking of guns, attest to say that this is the most guns I've ever had in any of their games. We've got a wide range of pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, SMG snipers, grenade launchers, miniguns, rocket launchers, freeze grenades, frag grenades, all customizable with mods such as sights, grips, muzzles, explosive ammo, etc. If you want to be more stealthy, you can equip a suppressor if you'd like. Gravity and zero gravity also affects the combat to low gravity plummets, involved much more arena-style combat where you're boosting around further with jetpacks. And interestingly, in a zero-gravity areas and guns will push you backwards because of the recoil, so nice attention to detail there. In terms of dogfighting and space combat, this appeared to be more advanced than I expected. There are different systems to managing the ship X-wing style, such as power, speed, and weapons. You can just blast away at ships if you want to, firing missiles or lock-ons. But you can also go as far as targeting specific systems on enemy ships too, in the hopes of exploiting their weaknesses. If you disable an enemy ship, you'll have the option of destroying it. You want to be that guy, you can do it, or you can loot it from your cockpit, or if you fancy, you can dock with it. Go into first-person guns-up mode, take out the crew CQC, steal the ship, and add it to your collection at a spaceport flying around in space. As you go from planet to planet, you will discover many things to divert your attention. It could simply be a new location or an interesting moon, or another example they gave was this massive space yard here. Player found it docked with it, walked around looking at shops and interacting with people on board, and discovered goods and missions. A different occasion showed the player docking with a huge battleship and conversing with the crew. Potential opportunity to gather technology and better weapons. And then quite differently, giant cruise ship to wander around and explore. You'll be navigating dangerous asteroid fields too and fighting many pirates along the way, as I mentioned at the start. But that's to said that this game has 1,000 planets. However, there are some procedurally generated elements to them, and your experiences on one planet may be different to a friend who's playing the game in terms of how it looks, the location of things, the bad guys there, and the wildlife and the language they used. It was a bit ambiguous in places, but I gathered that most of the planets in the game will be procedural, with some handcrafted elements and locations on each of them that are vital to the story of the game. And what will those handcrafted locations be like? Well, they showed a few of them with a ton of detail. The biggest focus in this presentation was on this place here called New Anti-City, and this was the first human civilization built in space. This place had massive skyscrapers, art installations, museums, coffee shops, a ton of things to see and do by the looks of it, full of interesting characters and quests for you to complete, or just leave aside quests which you never end up doing. It's also home to the Constellation, who are a group that seem to be pivotal to the story, intent on finding answers to humanity's biggest questions. Who are we? Why are we here? I kind of thing, I guess. And some of these guys will end up in your crew. Other places they mentioned were Serenia on Mars, which is a massive mining facility. Mining will be a big part of the game for crafting as you're going around the planet scanning rocks and gathering minerals, I assume. And then there was the Restart Collective. Aquila City has had a very Fallout New Vegas vibe, with cowboy-looking people and all the western stuff going on. Might be some fun quests there. Maybe you could become the sheriff, that'd be cool. Neon was another place in stark contrast with that, with vibrant lights. Kind of looked a bit cyberpunk too. And this is a pleasure city where anything goes, so you'll most likely be embarking on many seedy and dirty missions there. Get yourself a bad reputation. Perhaps there are also many factions in the game to which you can choose to join or take down depending on your proclivities. But your character and you'll navigate to all of these planets with fast travel if you want to, via the star map, by the way. And before you ask, yes, sadly landing and taking off on planets is still a cutscene. Hide loading. Unfortunately, you can't go from space to planet and vice versa in real time, like in games such as Star Citizen or No Man's Sky. Some of the tidbits here, but that's to say that this game uses a next-generation lighting model with global illumination and an all-new animation system for first and third-person actions. Whether the biomes and weather luck on any given planet is affected by the distance of the planet from the sun. You might recognize an adoring fan from Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Love him or hate him, and there's a deadly robot companion called Vasco who can come along with you for most missions. That's about it. I mean, if they deliver on everything promised in this presentation, this game will be huge. There are so many systems of play here with intricate detail and mechanics. On the surface, it feels like there's a lot of depth and you could get lost in this game for hours. But the question is, will this all gel well together? Will the story be interesting enough? What's the performance going to be like, and how buggy will it be? We'll have to wait and see, and I wish them luck. The concept is fascinating, and I'm more eager to play this now after watching this. It releases on the 6th of September, so not long to wait really, but I just wish that it had co-op so I could explore this galaxy with a friend. But fingers crossed someone wants that in pretty quick on the PC after launch. And with that said, that's all for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Starfield down in the comments below. If you want to learn more, just go and watch the whole presentation, but like I said, it is 45 minutes, so you got to dedicate a bit of time to it. Drop me a like below, thank you, subscribe if you're new. I will see you next time. Bye.